what? And also, there's someone else special out there that thinks that they're safe and sound. Bad empanada, you're not. I promise you, I'd find you. And a promise is a promise.
All right.
Right? You go, if someone's in Argentina, just because someone's in Argentina, they can't say and do whatever they want. That seems crazy, right? Yeah, that's not exactly true. Well, maybe he flees to Australia. Well, that's even better. Maybe he's scared and he's, I don't know where he might be right now, but I'm sure there's ways to find out. And it really is just a matter of where he is and the applicable laws and, hiring a private investigator, a local private investigator to find out where he is and finding local representation, reaching out to advocacy groups and such like that. Being anti-Semitic, I didn't know this. In Argentina is like, for whatever reason, I don't know, is like extremely illegal.
For some reason, being anti-Semitic in Argentina is extremely illegal. For some reason.
It's like extremely frowned upon. I think you can go to jail for being like anti-Semitic in Argentina. So if I was Bad Empanada, especially, even more than like some of these other people, I would be very concerned. I would be very concerned about where I am right now and weighing which one actually might be worse. I don't know. It might even be worse to be in Argentina trying to hide out than it might be in Australia, where I could sue you for defamation. Like
yeah, it can't possibly be because of all the Nazi expatriates. No.
Happen to know that your business is located in Australia still, so definitely can leverage. I'll put a leverage on that. There's no problem. My point is, there's no problem. And the good news is, at Bad Empanada, you are the biggest. I know it's about Adam, so just stand back and stand by Adam. I just want Bad Empanada to know, scumbag. There's certain lines you cross, and you crossed it with the wrong people, and that's what you did. Just wait.
The drink says poop juice? No, it doesn't say poop juice. It says something else. Wait, what? Wait. It says goof juice. That is unfortunate that it looks like poop juice. That is so unfortunate. And from far, it just it's like, you just see like the brown. No. This is Moist Criticals. Do you think he knows it looks like it says poop juice on it? Was it on purpose? Is Charlie an op? I don't want Moist Critical to get sued, dude. The poop juice paid marketing. Damn. He'll laugh. Oh god. Okay, anyways. So he's already said, like, you can just hire private investigators to like stalk these people to find their personal information. He said this about Bad Empanada. He said this about one other person as well. And that like he's repeatedly said, like, I'm gonna find you, about countless people, about Reddit mods, about Twitter users, about content creators, etc. And most recently, he has attempted to serve Frogan her papers, but I don't know if the person that he hired is unbelievably incompetent or they're just crazy. But this was pretty wacky wild. Uh, let me show you guys. So here's like the document, and it says that it was served. Okay. And it says it was served to a substituted service by leaving copies for a Jane Doe, African American or Middle Eastern, female, 40s, 5'6", 155 pounds, dark, long, curly hair. Huh? Dark eyes. Huh? Okay, so let's I want to show this part, which is like, how do they know the color of her hair under the job? Well, let me get to that. Let me get to that. So it shows I attempted personal service on the following dates and times with the following results. Okay, so on the 1st of July at 2:30 in the morning. What? Results. This is a 5-star. I'm going to read it with all of the typos, by the way, because I thought that I was losing my marbles when I was reading it, and it's just filled with like, not like small typos, like big typos. Okay. Yeah. Also, everybody knows Frogan's bald. This is a 5-story business style apartment building that's secured by a locked door and intercom. Our subject name is not listed on the intercom list. No one was seen on the inside. I could not gain access. I decided to wait outside the front of the building until it's 2:30 in the morning. I imagine all the lights are off. I decided to wait outside the front of the building until it was able to gain access. I was able to gain access by someone letting me in while they're leaving or arriving. So they're just like chilling outside at 2:30 in the morning until there's a resident that leaves or enters so that they can get into the building. At 3:15 a.m., I was able to gain access by following and after a resident or guest was leaving the building. I located where unit number blank was. I stand down the hallway and be able to stay out of view and be able to watch the unit without being too inconspicuous. Be able to stay out of view at 4:30 a.m. at this time. Nobody left or entered the unit. I stepped away and left the location without being noticed. No activity. Left at 4:30 a.m. Then the next opportunity. This is like not even an attempt to service. I guess this is just like when they were near the building and they wanted to report on this. This isn't an attempt to serve. So I don't. Okay. And then he shows up the next day at 2:30 a.m. again. Why are we showing up at 2:30? Why are we showing up at 2 in the morning? Oh my God. I just got here. What is this? This is the documents that were made public that were attempting to serve Frogan, but unfortunately they're written in like in an insane way. So let's keep going. Upon arrival at 2:30 the next day, 2:30 in the morning, I was not able to get access. The door to the property were locked. I waited outside the front of the building and waited for someone to enter or exit so I can gain access. At 3:05 a.m., I was able to gain access by entering in as a resident or guest was leaving the building. I approached the elevator and took up to the 4th floor, located unit number blank, and then stepped away and stepped back and walked down the hall so I would not look as if I was waiting for someone from that unit. I maintained my position down the hall from 3:15 a.m. until 6:30 a.m. During this time, there were no changes. No one was seen entering or exiting the unit. The door remained closed. I mean, yeah, that's from 3 a.m. to 6:30 a.m. Are there a lot of people that leave and enter their house from 3 a.m. to 6:30 a.m. other than like bakers and like sanitation workers? Well, runners, okay, runners are freaks though. Those people are freaks. All right. Especially not streamers. Also, like, Frogan's, this is the most bizarre thing. It's like her schedule is public. I don't even know why we're showing up at 3 a.m. If like you're trying to serve someone, I feel like serving streamers is probably those are the easiest people to serve because you would just serve them before or after their stream or during and then after their stream. Anyways, I quietly walked up to the door and listened closely for any movement. I did hear movement on the inside. I did not knock on the door. Instead, I just took note of my findings. I left at 6:30 a.m. Okay, low-key, this is like terrifying. Low-key, this is terrifying. Wouldn't it make sense if you hear something inside, you would knock on the door to try and serve that person? Bro's gonna serve.
Stalker simulator.
Bro's gonna serve the wrong person someday. Just wait. No spoilers, dude. Just wait. Just wait. We're getting there. Okay, continuing. On the 5th, upon arrival, I was not able to gain access. Also at 2 a.m. Also at 2 a.m. in the morning. Oh my God. The doors to the property were locked. I maintained my position outside of that main entrance, sitting on a large planter. At 3:07, I was able to gain access. A resident was exiting the building. I proceeded to the elevator, where I took the elevator up to the 4th floor. I continued until I got to unit blank. No movement was heard. I positioned myself down the hallway. I had a clear view of the front door, but I was far enough away where I left would not be seen from anybody looking through the peephole. From 2:15 a.m. until 8 a.m., during this time, there were no changes. No one was seen entering or exiting the unit. No one was seen in the hallway. I made an attempt where I walked up to the door and I knocked. And I knocked on the door and I placed the document on the ground saying delivery and stuff to wait. I waited alongside the hallway out of sight for approximately 10 minutes. No one came to pick up the documents. I don't believe anyone was home. Do you guys see where I was like, I need to show you guys this document? Who is writing like this? I mean, I guess the type of person that's fucking spending 2 to 8 a.m. outside of someone's apartment waiting. This is so. Can you imagine you knock on someone's door and you're like, delivery and stuff? No one came out. Bar closes at 2 a.m. Oh man, the bar's closed. Time to go work. Ugh. But I hate working. Okay, continuing. This is where it gets crazy. It's probably transcribed and not edited. No shot someone just types like this. But we just looked at a chatter's messages from someone who was speech to texting. Speech to text doesn't make these errors, right? Like speech to text doesn't make the error where you're like, and then I was waiting and resident to open for entering. It's like, that's not what speech to text does. This is like, I don't even understand what's happening. Okay. On the 14th, so 5 days ago, 6:12 p.m. Finally, a normal time. Finally, wow, that's crazy. A normal time. Okay, continuing. Substituted service for Morgan, aka Frogan, an individual blank by serving Jane Doe occupant, African American, Middle Eastern, female, 40s, 5'6", 155 pounds, dark, long, curly hair, dark eyes. Okay, just like so we can just get a quick, before we go any further, just so we can get a quick image, a quick little reminder of what Frogan looks like here. Just to really, before we move any further, just so we can get a reminder of what Frogan looks like. Okay. So we can all remember. Okay. Now, let's read. Upon arrival, I could not gain access. The entrance to the building was locked. I positioned myself in front of the building and waited for someone to enter or exit the property so I could gain access. At 2:12 p.m., I was able to gain access. I entered in after a resident was leaving with his dog. I proceeded to the 4th floor. I approached unit blank, and I could hear a female voice talking. I could not tell what was being said, but it sounded like someone was giving their point of view. I stepped away and positioned myself in the hallway far enough away as to not be seen by anyone within the unit looking out of the peephole. Throughout my time waiting, I could hear constant talking with brief moments of silence. At 6:12 p.m., I heard the doorknob of unit blank make noise, and the door quickly opened. Stepping out was a darker female, possibly African American or Middle Eastern, in her 40s, 5'6", 155 pounds, dark, long, curly hair with dark eyes. I asked her if she's Morgan, and she said, why? Again, I just need to remind everyone, Frogan has blue eyes and wears a hijab. So it is literally impossible for that to have been Frogan. It is literally impossible, just like, continuing. I guess if Frogan was doing like blackface and put brown contacts out or like in and then wore a wig, then maybe, but like she's also not in her 40s. She's also not 5'6". So I also highly doubt Frogan would do blackface personally. That's just my personal opinion. I just don't think that she's the type of person to do that. So that would be kind of crazy if she did that. Moving on. I asked her if she is Morgan, and she said, why? I said, I have legal documents for you. And she said she is not Morgan. I asked her if Morgan lived there, and she said, no. She has lived there for 6 years, and there is no Morgan. I asked her if she would show her ID, showing that she is not Morgan, and she refused. I mean, like, just for 1 second. If there was, like, any chance at all that this person found out that this guy was, like, entering and leaving this building at, like, 2 in the morning, like, if any of her neighbors saw this and were like, hey, there's, like, some guy that's, like, walking outside the apartment with, like, some papers. I don't even know if they're real. Like, I don't know. I'm, like, concerned. Just, like, careful, whatever. Like, I would also say, I don't know who the fuck this Morgan person is. I am not Morgan. I'm not showing you my ID. I don't even know who the fuck you are. I told her since she won't show her ID that I will be serving her. She refused to take the documents. So I placed them in front of her door. The female saw me place them there. She said, I'm not Morgan. You can speak to the management. I declare under penalty of perjury that the foregoing is true and correct, and that this declaration was executed on July 18th, 2025. No, but like really, like what the fuck am I looking at? Like, what is this paragraph? Genuinely, what the fuck am I? I am not Morgan. I have lived here for 6 years. There is no Morgan. The Morgan is gone. Well, if you won't show me your ID, then I will be serving you. I placed the documents. The female saw me there. Whoa. Which, like, here's the thing, dude. Now that person is being sued. Them's the rules. Yeah.
The Morgans are gone people.
I'm not a lawyer. So a lawyer can answer this question. Does this count as even serving someone? Putting like the documents on someone else's doorstep and being like, well, if you won't show me the ID, and you won't show me that you are not in fact Morgan, then I guess you have to take these papers. Does that? In some states, unfortunately, yes, but I doubt in California, but maybe. Because I know with yes, if she's actually Morgan, well, I don't know that the 5'6" woman in her 40s that's African American or Middle Eastern with dark, long, curly hair and dark eyes matches the description of a hijabi woman that's 5'3", 5'4" with blue eyes. I don't know I don't know that's. Also, yeah, like very blue eyes, you really cannot miss it. I mean, again, it's like I have brown eyes. Also, unbelievably white, by the way. Very suspicious, Denim. So are you actually Morgan? Dark, long, curly hair. Possibly African American or Middle Eastern. 40 years old. I saw that on the internet somewhere that you are, in fact, in your 40s. Some people said you're even in your 50s, actually. So, yeah, I mean, we are all Morgan. We are all Morgan. This is like. So again, in the case with like Casey Tron, where her dad accepted the papers, because he thought that they were, I believe, like government papers for like disability or something. I think that still counts as serving because it's her dad, so he can accept the papers for her, and he did accept the papers, whether or not, again, actually connected to her. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that counts, and that means that Casey was served. Whether it's immoral isn't relevant there because he did accept the papers that served her. And it's not a random person in some random unit or building that I don't even know if this is the same thing. They have to live at the same address too. I mean, yeah, it's also, they were at the same address. So her dad also confirmed he was her dad and that she lived there, which I'm pretty sure in that case, and I don't know exact state to state law, so maybe there's some question there, but I'm pretty sure that would still count as being served. I'm not a lawyer. I would love to see lawyers talk about whether or not this counts as service, whether or not this counts as serving someone. Because, like, I can only assume that it was, like, the wrong building or the wrong unit. This is what the current this is some website on California. How to serve by a substituted service. Your server must try multiple times to deliver the papers, at least 3 times, different days of the weeks and different times of the day, at times when your spouse or child's other parent is likely to be home. It's about, I think, family, like court law and stuff. Server hands the papers to someone else on the last try. On the last try, your server can leave the papers with someone, at least 18, who seems responsible and lives at the house. So it has to be, like, again, with Casey Tron, I think because he confirmed that he is her dad and that Casey Tron lives there, that meets the bar. She doesn't, I don't think Casey lives in California. So it's possible that not California law is different, but if it's similar on this front, then I think that that would still be valid. If trying to serve papers at work, your server can leave the papers with someone at the office, at least 18, who appears to be in charge. Your server must tell the person they're giving the papers to that the papers are legal documents and who the papers are for. Oh, you must tell them who they're giving the papers to and that the papers are legal. Okay, it's written a little bit weird. Your server must also write down the name of the person they gave court papers to. If the person will not give their name, the server must write down a detailed physical description. Okay. They mail a copy to your spouse or other parent. Your server must then mail a copy to the papers of your spouse's child's parent. Okay, so again, this is about family court law. So that's why some of it's a little bit more specific. Server writes and signs a declaration of diligence. Fill out and copy proof of service form. Copy and file proof of service. So this is the, like, alleged proof of service document, but, like, don't forget to tip your server. Can you imagine being served official court documents and then they hand you an iPad? Why was this even released? It's well, I mean, it was released because this person who served these papers is claiming that this is proof of service, which all has to be, public documents or, like, publicly available. It's just, like, insane. You know the craziest thing about all this, though, chap? It says that different times of the day when people are likely to be there, 3 attempts that were at insane times at the same time. Yeah, I have to say, like, this is crazy. Showing up on the 1st and on the 2nd and on the 5th at 2 a.m. in the morning is I don't even and also, like, in these cases, he's not even knocking on the door. He's just, like, investigating. Like, This is not an attempt because he doesn't knock on the door. This one's not an attempt either. He doesn't knock on the door. This one seems to be an attempt when he like walks up and says like delivery and stuff and then puts the papers on the floor and then walks away and then comes back and picks them back up. And then this one is just giving them to someone else that doesn't even know Frogan. You know the craziest work though? How much he charged for this? Fee for service, $2,500. I'm in the wrong line of work. Dude, I need to be showing up at people's doors at 2 a.m. and waiting until a resident or guest lets me in. That's what I need to be doing, dude. Oh my God. No, I don't believe that Frogan would ever pay this out. I'm pretty sure that Ethan would be the person that would be paying this out. This is crazy. This is crazy. Getting paid $2,500 for sitting outside of an apartment complex at 2 in the morning. It's the one who ordered the service? Yeah. That would be a crazy miscarriage of justice if, like, you got charged to get served papers for a lawsuit because this guy decided I'm going to show up at 2 in the morning, a time that you were not going to be awake. That's a huge tip bill. The server didn't even show her the specials or the starters for the day. Show up at 2 a.m., wait, leave at 6, repeat a few times, collect $2,500. Dude, I need to quit my job so bad. I need to quit. Well, I don't have a job, but I need to quit so bad and do this. Pandangles, thank you for the 5 gift subs. Easy Breeze, thank you for the gift sub to Morgan is fine. Thank you guys. Stingy California, thank you for the 37. No, 42 months. Crazy as foot, thank you for the prime. Jordy, thank you for the 8 months. Thank you for the prime. You guys understand why I had to show this to you all. He has to be doing it on purpose to get more fees from Ethan. Well, listen, I'm not going to accuse. Listen. Never attribute to malice what can be attributed to
Denims is streaming.
ignorance. Denims is streaming. Thank you so much. I think it's way more likely that he was having fun at the bar and then it was 2 a.m. and he's like, I just started these stupid papers. It's like the papers are covered in beer. It's like, all right, it's fine. That's probably why the lady didn't even want to accept them. She's like, ew, get that away from me. What is that? Can I see your ID, ma'am? Can I see? That was all a joke, okay? That was satire. Why does it smell? Delivery and stuff, people. No, I would chalk this up to incompetence, actually. Can I see your ID? Mine got confiscated. Who even opens their door at 2 a.m.? Bro, I don't open my door at 2 a.m. I'm sorry. You're knocking on my door at 2 a.m. Unless I can see, unless you texted me beforehand or I looked at the people and I know you, I am not opening my door. I have had I'm so sus that like even just like the people who show up to like do the inspections for, you know, units or whatever where it's like, yeah, we're just seeing if your monoxide, whatever the fuck they're called, are still going off and still working. We just want to double check on your water or whatever. And I'm like, Likely story. Imagine some stranger showing up at your door at 2 a.m. That would be crazy. Always ask for a work order. No, usually I'm like, oh, 1 second. And then I go and check like the pile of papers on like my kitchen counter that I always ignore. And I'm like, oh yeah, it does say July 2nd they were going to do this. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. Check the water. All right, sorry about all the trash. Sorry, I know I have a lot of cardboard boxes. My bad. Sorry about the wait. They're like, okay, I guess. Yeah. Honestly, I'd wager that this is a normal occurrence in the paper-serving legal industry. Sorry, there's a funny chat message. There was one person that was like, yeah, people doing their jobs is so crazy, before I showed all the other things. Before I showed the other documents. Oh, God. All right. Close. I would not show something that was like a nothing burger that was just like, oh, and then he does serve, and that's it. Affidavit of reasonable diligence, by the way. I mean, like I said, I'm not a lawyer. Someone else who is a lawyer or someone who can talk to a lawyer can see if this even counts as serving, because it really does not feel like it should be considered as being served. Some random person you don't know getting the documents that looks nothing like you. So I don't see how that would make any sense, but okay. Okay. Close. I mean, it was served to the right address, right? I mean, I don't know. Like, it's possible that they made a mistake, that they were in the wrong building. I've had it before where like I've had an appointment in a building and there's another building exactly like it right next to it. It's like owned by the same company, but they're just two buildings that are right next to each other. And when you're showing up at like 2 a.m., like, so it's possible that he was in the wrong building. It's possible he was at the wrong door. I mean, the lady said she's there. The Morgan is gone. There is no Morgan, and that lady has lived there for 6 years. I don't even think Morgan has lived in. I don't think Frogan's even lived in LA for 6 years. So I used to serve papers Denims. The judge would be annoyed if I served papers after 8 p.m. or earlier than 7 a.m. Damn.
You are my best friend. You are the rent payer. You are the legend. Thank you, Ethan Klein. You are my best friend.